I'm really excited to introduce our first storyteller, Dick Louch. Dick learned to ride a bike at the age of 5 and has never stopped pedaling since. He spent his youth in North York and Toronto, exploring the ravines by bike and getting around his neighborhood on 2 wheels. After attending school in Waterloo for 5 years, he purposefully moved to Ottawa to enjoy the many bike paths, nearby forest trails in the summer, and downhill cross-country skiing in the winter. He continues to take pleasure in all of these activities. He's married, has 2 adult children and 2 grandgirls, all of whom live nearby, with whom he shares joyfully his enthusiasm for being outdoors on a bike. He currently works as a bike tour guide with Escape Tours and Rentals, and is part of the Parkways for People advocacy group. Dick is going to share the story of organizing a community bike festival. Welcome, Dick. Come on up.
This is the story of Capital Vale Fest. It's a non-profit organization I started in 2011. Our mission was to inspire people of all ages to ride a bike more often. And we did that by organizing activities, events, education, all with including an element of fun to inspire people to get out on their bike. So just to quickly outline, I'll talk about the various components of the festival, the timeline for development of it, what some of the critical steps to launching it were, how we promoted it, and then the various elements of bike rodeo, the Tour de Nuit, and then some of the other cycling activities that we got into over time. So the festival components, we held it at Ottawa City Hall on Marion Dewar Square outside. So we had this space set up for partner vendors to have come and display their wares. We had a bike polo course set up here, some cycling games here. We had live music as well during the day and during the evening for people to enjoy. And the main reason for the event, of course, was the night ride. We started at City Hall, rode down Queen Elizabeth Drive, down through the experimental farm, back up Prince of Wales, and returned to City Hall on the Queen Elizabeth Drive.
Hey Dick, can I just say something really quickly?
Yes.
I just want to say this shop that you guys are in started out as Retro Rides. It started out in my basement, in my laneway, and eventually we moved down to Spark Street. But Dick and Capital Velo Fest was instrumental in this place being what it is when I went to Velo Fest with my super cool custom vintage bicycles, I met people that I still have relationships with, and it helped develop my business. I ended up doing fashion shows and working with Maria at Escape Bicycle Tours, and here we are. So Dick has a lot of cred with me and in this city. Cheers, brother. Thanks,
Jason. I appreciate that. You helped us out a lot too. You'll see some of the bikes that Jason created at the event. So I first conceived of the idea in November 2010. I was attending a public meeting similar to this where people were talking about things they could do to encourage cycling in Ottawa. I had been to the Montreal Tour de Nuit many times and got the inspiration at this meeting to bring the Tour de Nuit to Ottawa. So between December and January, I kind of researched the concept, looked at various bike festivals all around the world. January to March, I recruited Suprovs, various advocacy groups, essentially anyone who might have a remote interest in cycling I reached out to. Founded a non-profit corporation in March, did the logistics planning between March and May, launched a website in April, volunteer recruited in April and May. We needed over 100 volunteers to help out with the event. And we had the first festival on the 4th of June with 35 participating organizations, bike shops, advocacy groups, NCC, lots of people came out. We had about 1,000 festival attendees the first year and was financially positive. So the critical steps were, I established it as a non-profit corporation because many of the city's services and other services that we use had a preferred rate for nonprofits. It's a relatively easy thing to do. You go online, register yourself as a corporation, and establish a board of directors, and then you get a lower price for many services. We started recruiting supporters, had one-on-one meetings, emails, established partnerships within the local government, the city of Ottawa primarily. The cycling industry reached out to, so all the bike shops, people who sold cycling-related merchandise, some jewelry, reached out to them all. The various advocacy groups for cycling, many of those were environmental, based advocacy groups, but every one of the environmental advocacy groups love bikes, so I figure they're a good market to reach out to. Also to community associations and sponsors. I wanted to reach out to people who were able to contribute financially, both for money as well as services. Promotion, we used a website, posters, online media. We joined Ottawa Festivals. It's an umbrella organization for all the various festivals in Ottawa. And they provide promotion services as well as seminars, education to help you organize a festival. And recruited volunteers. We needed over 100 volunteers. Most of those were to help close the roads at night. And then the legal requirements. Both the NCC and the city required insurance permits that covered them in case they were sued after the event. They had to get permits for music, food, closing the roads, all kinds of things, and then negotiating contracts for the various supplies that we needed. To promote it, we developed this poster. Well, it's not showing up very well, unfortunately. It was designed, again, I was looking for free services as much as possible or low cost. We reached out to the Canterbury Community High School, which is an arts high school. Hooked up with a woman there named Linda Matthews, who I've since become good friends with. And she connected me with the student, Jessica Jackson, who created the poster, the graphics for it, re-added the words. And we used the poster, put it up in all of our partners, the bike shops, put it up on poles downtown. We used the poster to try to get the word out in the first year. Started sending out emails. We created a website, a Facebook page. We bought ads on Facebook as well too, targeted to cyclists in Ottawa. Tried to get a lot of publicity through the print media. I wrote articles for Where magazine, the Ottawa Citizen, other community papers. Reached out to the broadcast community, did interviews on TV, CTV, CBC, as well as on the radio, as well as both the university radios. Connected with the various bike clubs and organizations in Ottawa to get them, let them know their members about the event as well as recruiting volunteers. Sent out news releases and partners with the various advocacy groups and participated in their events. I would go to their events and bring the message to the site that they had. We created some YouTube videos in subsequent years. I looked yesterday, they're still out there, so if you search Capital VeloFest, you'll see what it used to be like. So this is some pictures of the bike rodeo and what we had there. We had a kids safety village where we taught kids the rules of the road and how to ride safely. This is one of the games we had, bike balloon jousting. Here's one of Jason's bikes here that was he had brought to the event. We had bubble machines. Ottawa Public Health was there. The rock and roll system on the buses, it was a relatively new concept at the time. And so we invited OC Transport to come for a demo so people could actually try putting their bikes on the racks in a safe environment as opposed to on Queen Street when the traffic's going by. So we had about 34 vendors, I think it was, or people participating. We didn't charge them to come to the event. We wanted to be welcoming and get as many vendors there in the first year, but we did ask them for a donation of a prize that we could use for a raffle draw. That had two purposes really. One, many of the prizes were gift certificates, so it brought the people into the vendor's store afterwards, which they appreciated. But for us, we got their email. Over the 5 years of the event, we built up a mailing list of about 6,300 people who all had an interest in cycling in Ottawa. So it's quite a valuable targeted mailing list that we developed. Here's some more pictures of the bike rodeo, kind of the entertainment side. The Museum of Science and Technology brought some of their old bikes, for display, and they brought some of their replicas that people were actually able to ride around on. We had the Mallets of Mayhem bike polo team set up, also doing the limbo there, getting the signal to move on here. So the Tour de Nuit was the major source of revenue for the event. So it's a ride on closed off streets at night. Has anyone been in a Tour de Nuit out of the Montreal? So you know how much fun it is to ride along the streets at night with all these bikes lit up. This is a train. It's actually a recumbent tandem pulling 2 trailers. And it actually came with sound effects. It had a chugga 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 sound track, as well as the actual train horn. Here's some more pictures of it. We had a giraffe. This was actually quite a neat thing. The feet would go up and down as he rode along. It looked like it was galloping down the road. This is the Human-Powered Vehicle Operators of Ottawa, is a local group that dresses up their bikes and creates art out of bike, essentially. This is them here, too. Other activities, so we have organized bike rallies. Concept is that you ride in teams of 2 to 6 people around town, following a predestined route, looking for the answers to kind of quirky questions along the way. We took our rodeos to day camps and bike schools as well. And we started renting out Smooch to various events. We rented out to corporations who wanted to promote Earth Day and to some day camps as well. So the experience for me, I had a lot of fun doing this. We quickly immersed myself in the cycling community in Ottawa. Met a lot of people. This is the Governor General of Canada at the time, David Johnson. You'll probably recognize the mayor. This is the Wim Gertz, the Netherlands ambassador. Just lots of people. I formed a lot of relationships with a lot of friends, many of whom I still have today. I'll just leave you with this. It was first said to me about 10 years ago by Jen Seltzer when she was working for the Environment Center. She said, you know, everybody who rides a bike is good and kind. So if you want to find out if someone's a nice person, ask them if they ride a bike. Thank you.